What's going on, everybody? My name is Dr. Eli, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, recently on my channel, I published a video about my loan repayment strategy that seemed to be pretty popular. If you didn't see that video, I advise you to pause this video and go watch that one first and then come back to this one, because this is a part 2 of that video. This video will refer to some information that I mentioned in the previous video, but also is a completely different plan, etc. But I wanted to talk about alternatives to loan repayment that some people may be interested in. As I mentioned in that last video, loan repayment and the amount of debt that students accrue trying to go to dental school is a very hot topic right now in the dentistry world. Dental schooling is the most expensive schooling out of all professional schools. A lot of students enter $500,000+ of debt pursuing a dental education. As a result, a lot of people are wondering if this debt load is worth pursuing a dental education at all. And so I made the last video in an attempt to kind of ease people's mind and show them a realistic picture of how their debt repayment would look after graduating dental school. If you're new to the channel, my name's Eli and I'm a recent dental school graduate and also an orthodontics resident. So I'll be discussing something similar to my situation while also using some salaries similar to what I may expect in the future. If this is something that interests you, or if you're interested in going to dental school or pursuing orthodontics or anything like that, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. I've been making dental school vlogs since I started dental school 4 years ago, and now I'm taking everyone through my orthodontics residency journey and just navigating the field of dentistry as an adult in general. So in this video here, I want to talk about an alternate loan repayment program. In part 1, I talked about paying off your loans aggressively in 10 years and what that would look like for a general dentist and for someone specializing in orthodontics. But in this video, I'm going to talk about the SAVE repayment plan. Now, before we get into the video, I want to make something very, very clear. Currently, under the Trump administration, the SAVE repayment plan is not an option. It has been in the past, but it's been halted. When you log on to your student loan service provider, the first message you see is important announcement. A federal court issued an injunction preventing the U.S. Department of Education from implementing the Saving on a Valuable Education, SAVE, plan and parts of other income-driven repayment plans. So, this plan that I may explain in this video is not accessible right now and cannot be implemented at this point. However, it may come back in the future. You know, things change. I don't want to get political on this channel, but this is just me telling you what the current situation that we have to navigate is right now. So for those of you who don't know what the SAVE plan is, or the Saving on a Valuable Education plan, the SAVE plan, please excuse me for looking down at my laptop. I'm just trying to read and provide accurate information, so I'm not trying to misquote or anything. So, the SAVE plan adjusts your monthly payments to a percentage of your discretionary income. Discretionary income is the difference between your annual income and a percentage of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services poverty guideline for your state and family size. While other income-driven repayment plans use 100% to 150% of the poverty guideline, the SAVE plan uses 225%. That means more of your income is exempt, so you should have lower monthly payments. On SAVE, a single borrower who earns $32,800 or less, or a family of 4 earning $67,500 or less, will have payments of $0 in most states. Married borrowers may also appreciate that they don't have to include their spouse's income if they file their taxes separately. If you file your taxes jointly, your student loan payment will be based on both incomes. So who's eligible for the SAVE plan? Anyone with eligible federal student loans is eligible for the SAVE plan. Eligible loans include direct subsidized loans, direct unsubsidized loans, direct plus loans made to graduate or professional students, direct consolidation loans that didn't repay any parent plus loan. FFEL and Perkins loans are also eligible as long as they weren't made to parents and are consolidated into a direct consolidation loan. Parent loans are not eligible for SAVE. The only income-driven plan available to parent loans is the income contingent repayment plan. However, parents may become eligible for SAVE using the double consolidation loophole before it closes in July 2025. Okay, so now that you all understand what the SAVE plan is and how it can be used, let's talk about repaying your dental school loans using the SAVE plan. So for someone like me, all of my loans from college, grad school, and dental school were federal loans, meaning they were either direct subsidized loans, direct unsubsidized loans, or the grad plus loan. Again, not to get political on this channel, but Donald Trump's administration is currently proposing the One Big Beautiful Bill. Part of this bill wants to cap federal student loans at $150,000. That means the majority of people pursuing higher education above college, if it's med school, dental school, etc., it's going to cost more than $150. If you don't have a parent or a family member that can pay this out of pocket, you will have to go into private loans and you will not be eligible for any of these repayment plans. So just like in the last video, I went into ChatGPT and I just asked a few questions trying to figure out what my repayment plan would look like if I was not trying to pay it back aggressively. So again, in the last video, I talked about scenarios where I was trying to pay back my loans within 10 years, point blank period, while also using some extra money to invest in the S&P 500 so I can build an investment account at the same time. So this time, because a lot of people were up in arms about the salary that I mentioned, I dropped the salary a little bit just to give a more realistic picture. However, in the first part, I did not mention any salaries that I had not heard personally. They may have been on the higher end, but they were not made up salaries. So the first thing I asked ChatGPT, if I make $350,000 per year, how much would my minimum monthly payment be on a federal student loan of $900,000 with a 9% interest rate? So first, ChatGPT gave me my monthly payment if I was trying to pay this loan off in 10 years. And ChatGPT told me that if I was to pay this loan off in 10 years, my minimum monthly payment on the standard 10-year plan would be about $11,412. Over 10 years, I would pay a total of $1.37 million, with $470,000 of that being interest only. Next, I asked ChatGPT, what would my minimum payment be under the SAVE plan? So ChatGPT said, first, you need to calculate your discretionary income. The SAVE defines discretionary income as your adjusted gross income minus 225% of the federal poverty guideline for your household size. For a single person in 2025, the poverty line is about $14,580. So 225% of that is $32,805. With an AGI of $350,000, your discretionary income is approximately $350,000 minus $32,805, which equals $317,195. Quick intermission to the video. If you're watching the video and you've made it this far and you're enjoying the content, please drop a like on the video. It's right here under the video. Just click the little thumbs up button. It's of no cost to you and it does so much to help boost the video and the channel in the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. So next, ChatGPT said I need to determine the percentage applied. Under SAVE, graduate loans are 10% of your discretionary income and undergraduate loans are 5%. But since your entire $900K is likely graduate level debt, assume 10% applies to the full balance. Now, ChatGPT is not wrong. Out of all this money that I borrowed, I would say around definitely less than 50,000 came from undergrad. So we're just going to apply 10% to the whole $900,000, okay? Also, if you're wondering where I'm getting the number 900,000 from, I explained it in the last video as well, but essentially I have debt from undergrad, grad school, dental school, and I'm gonna have debt from residency because orthodontics residency and most programs are unpaid and you actually pay tuition to the dental school to be a resident in that program. So ChatGPT then told me your annual SAVE payment would be 10% of $317,195 or $31,720 annually. This means monthly, when you divide that by 12, I'd be paying $2,643 per month. Now, SAVE also has an interest coverage benefit. This means that SAVE has a government interest subsidy. If your payment does not fully cover accrued interest, no unpaid interest capitalizes. It's covered by the government, preventing negative amortization. So, at 9% interest on a $900,000 loan, annual interest is $81,000, far above your SAVE payment, meaning your loan balance wouldn't grow under SAVE. Instead of 10 years, you'd be paying this off for 25 years before you see any kind of loan forgiveness. So I would be paying $2,640 for 25 years, and then I would get forgiveness after 25 years. So what are the benefits of paying under the SAVE plan? Opting for the SAVE plan lowers your monthly obligation. As I mentioned in the last video, or as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, instead of paying around $11,000 per month, I'd be paying $2,000 per month. That adds a lot of money to your monthly income, etc. Government interest coverage means no negative amortization, even though your payment is below the accruing interest. Now, the difference between what I mentioned before and what I mentioned now is that with the $11,000 payment, I'd be paying it completely off in 10 years. With this payment, I'd be paying for 25 years. That's a long time. So then I asked ChatGPT to estimate a total repayment over time, or how much I'd owe, switching to SAVE over the standard repayment. So according to ChatGPT, over 25 years paying that monthly payment of $2,643, I'd pay $792,900 over 25 years. Whereas with the original plan that I mentioned, I'd be paying $1.37 million over 10 years. So then I took it a step further because, like I mentioned in the last video, I wanted to see how I could build an investment account while also paying off my student loans. As a lot of people are concerned, they think that the student loan debt is so crippling that you have no chance to get ahead in life, whether that be buying a house, buying a dental practice, getting married, whatever it might be. So originally, I got very overzealous and I asked ChatGPT, if I invested $8,000 a month in the S&P 500 for 25 years, which would essentially be taking the difference between what I'd be paying under the standard repayment plan and what I'm paying under the SAVE plan, and investing the rest of the money in an investment account, how much money would I accrue? Now, ChatGPT gave me a crazy number, and I realized that no one's going to be doing that for 25 years. I think what would be more realistic is for me to ask, what if I did that for 10 years, like I would be doing under the standard plan, and after 10 years, I just let it sit. But if anyone's interested in what ChatGPT told me, like I said in the last video, the S&P 500 has an average annual return of 7 to 10%. So under the low end, 7%. If I was to do that for 25 years straight, over 25 years, I would have accrued $6.49 million in this investment account on the low end. If it was the high end of 10%, I would have accrued $9.57 million in this investment account. Now, again, no one is just investing a constant $8,000 for 25 years per month. Maybe some people are, if you got it like that. Obviously, this is how rich people stay rich. This is how people get ahead in life. This is how you create generational wealth, etc. Fine. However, I said, let me be more realistic and say 10 years. So I asked ChatGPT, if I invested $8,000 a month in the S&P 500 for the next 10 years, how much money would I accumulate? Again, 7 to 10% annual return rate. On the low end, I would have accumulated $1.38 million in this investment account. So that leads me to say one thing. Do you think it's possible that someone can start paying their loan back on a SAVE plan and pay this minimum payment of $2,600 per month for 10 years under the SAVE plan while investing $8,000 a month in their S&P 500? And after 10 years, you have $1.38 million in this investment account. Could you take the rest of that money, remove it from your investment account, and use it to pay off the rest of your loan? It's an option. So once again, this is just my way of kind of going through some scenarios with you all, especially the pre-dents and the dental students that watch my videos. I know that hearing these numbers of debt is very, very concerning. And a lot of people, we can't even imagine having the kind of money to pay that back. But I just want you all to know that there are ways to go about it in your life. And Educating yourself on finances, stock market, and all the ways to repay your debt will really help you in the long run. So while you're spending all your time learning all this dentistry stuff, learn some of the business models in life. Learn the way that life works outside of dentistry. That's all I got to say for this video. I thank you all for watching. If you learned something from this video, please make sure you leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, whatever it might be, and subscribe to the channel for more. That's all I got for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. I got baguettes in the back of my ring, and I went trying to hit me. I told her she gotta run to the team before she can talk to the lit. Before she can talk to the jet. Yeah. Lamb chop, I just pulled up.